What if plants produced electricity instead of oxygen? Modern Earth revolves around a crucial cycle. Photosynthesis produces oxygen. This is the biological reaction that underpins nearly all life on the planet. From ancient ocean species to modern humans, life relies on O for energy. But what if we reverse this biological law? What if plants, instead of producing oxygen, produced electricity? This hypothesis may sound like science fiction, but it is not far-fetched. Studies in the field of bioelectrogenesis have shown that some bacteria, fungi, and even plant tissue can produce weak electric currents under certain conditions. Based on that ability, we build a hypothetical world where photosynthesis does not produce oxygen, but electricity. In that world, from wild grasses to the Amazon jungle, every plant would convert sunlight into electricity, transmitting it to the soil, the air, and even accumulating it in their own cell tissues. But the price to pay is the Earth's atmosphere would be completely devoid of oxygen. What would this world be like? To understand the mechanism, we need to recall the usual photosynthesis. Plants absorb light photons with chlorophyll, split water into H and O, and then use the H to make glucose. Oxygen is a byproduct, but it is extremely important for the rest of life. In the new hypothesis, the photosynthetic reaction is radically changed. That is, no oxy in the air. Plants generate a direct flow of electrons transferred to the soil like a biological battery. No need to create glucose to store energy. Energy is transferred, not accumulated in living tissue. This could happen if plants evolve structures like bioantennas or bio-nanotransistors in their leaves and roots. Some bacteria, such as Geobacter sulfurducens, have shown the ability to generate electricity naturally. Why can't plants? But the consequences of not having glucose and oxygen are no traditional biological respiration, no food chain as it exists today. Only organisms that can absorb electricity directly exist. We are entering a completely different world biologically. In this world, oxygen would not exist at the current concentration of 21%. No oxy means animals that use aerobic respiration cannot exist. No fire, no combustion. Industry, if any, cannot rely on fuel combustion. Oceans without dissolved oxygen. Marine life without modern respiration. The ecosystem would have to rely on a completely different foundation. Organisms that directly absorb electricity from the environment, similar to the electric eel, but a universal instinct, or evolve to use electricity as a source of life, similar to how plants use light. This opens up the possibility of animals that have no lungs, do not need blood to transport oxy, and instead have highly conductive tissues, able to absorb electricity from the environment or from electric prey. This ecosystem would be more bioelectric than biochemical. When oxygen is no longer present in the atmosphere, all living things, if they survive, must evolve to adapt to a purely electrical environment. Life will no longer rely on gas exchange, but on electron exchange, a completely different biology. 1. The living body as an electric circuit. Instead of a respiratory and circulatory system, animals and plants in this world may have the following characteristics. Cells contain conductive membranes which can absorb electron flows from the environment. Internal bioelectric circuitry replaces the heart and lungs. Energy is transmitted through electrically charged neurons instead of chemicals. Body structures like capacitors, storing and releasing electrical energy in a controlled manner. Some species will be able to communicate using electrical signals similar to today's electric fish, but much more complex, possibly forming an electromagnetic language. 2. No more life as we know it. There are no more birds, animals, fish, insects as we know them today. Aerobic respiration has been eliminated from the evolutionary equation. Instead, this world could be home to life forms like plasma fauna, semi-transparent organisms, electrically conductive bodies moving by magnetic fields. Photovores, organisms that absorb sunlight through their skin containing semiconducting pigments, converting it directly into electricity to nourish their bodies. Electrominus, organisms that live in symbiosis with plants, drawing electricity from tree trunks like mistletoe to generate electricity. 3. No biological engines but bioelectricity. Movement no longer relies on elastic muscles but can use electric potential to create ion vibrations or create magnetic fields to push, helping to slide on surfaces without friction. Electricity is not just a source of energy, it becomes the basis for the existence of the entire ecosystem. An inevitable consequence: when plants continuously produce electricity instead of electrons will be released into the environment and the Earth will become a giant electrically conductive ecosystem. Lightning is no longer an anomaly. The atmosphere is constantly charged by plants underground pumping electrons into the air. Lightning occurs every hour, not just in thunderstorms, but everywhere. New atmospheric phenomena. The ozone layer does not exist because there is no oxy to form ozone. UV rays flood the ground, driving rapid evolution or mutation. No carbon dioxide because plants do not photosynthesize in the old way. The greenhouse effect is weakened, the planet is colder. However, the electric currents that permeate the atmosphere help to retain some of the solar energy, creating an electromagnetic greenhouse effect, a new concept in hypothetical meteorology. The Earth's magnetic field is affected. If the entire biosphere were a source of electricity, the Earth's magnetic field would be altered. The magnetic axis would change seasonally when trees generate more or less electricity. The north-south pole could shift more quickly, unsteadily. Organisms move with magnetic currents instead of air currents. In a world where plants do not produce oxygen but generate electricity, if humans survive, they will have to adapt and develop completely different technology to survive. 1. Biological changes in humans. No more oxygen respiration. Humans must evolve or be technologically improved to absorb and use electrical energy directly instead of using oxygen in metabolism. Body conduction system. Skin and body tissues will integrate cells that can conduct electricity, absorb electrons from the environment, and convert them into energy for life activities. Brain and nerves. Electrical signals in the brain will be amplified and refined to suit the environment with many electric charges, helping to increase the ability to recognize and interact with external electrical signals. 2. Technology adapted to the electrical environment. Conductive clothing and tools, devices and materials designed to transmit or insulate electricity as needed, helping to protect people from electric shock or exploit bioelectric energy. Bioelectric energy collection and storage technology, like giant biobatteries, technology will take advantage of the electricity generating ability of plants to provide clean, sustainable energy for the whole society. Direct electronic communication. Humans will develop communication systems based on bioelectric signals, gradually replacing traditional means such as sound or radio waves. 3. Impact on society and civilization. Main renewable energy source. Plant-generated energy will be the main source of supply, creating a new bioelectric economy. Electric agriculture. The planting and care of electric forests will become a key industry, completely replacing traditional agriculture based on oxygen and chemistry. Electrically related diseases. Emerging diseases related to electrical overload and bioelectrical disorders will be the top medical challenge. Far future vision. Earth is a living supercomputer with the ability to process information on a planetary scale. 1. Planetary nervous system. Roots equals wires. Tree root systems spread across the planet, connecting billions of living entities capable of transmitting and receiving electrical signals. They act as a global network of neurons. Instantaneous communication. Electric currents between trees transmit signals as fast as nerves, helping to warn, adapt, and even exchange information. Each forest is now like an independent brain region, processing information on the spot. Earth becomes a giant brain. When bioelectrical networks are connected, the entire planet acts as a synthetic nervous system, able to learn, self-regulate, and react to the environment. 2. Biological memory and plant intelligence. Electrical memory. Plants can store information in the form of electrical charges like RAM or biological batteries. Changes in the environment, emotions, or human activities can be remembered in an electrical fashion. Distributed intelligence. There is no central control. The planet's intelligence is not located in a single individual, but is distributed throughout clusters of electric forests, like a decentralized neural network. Biological machine learning. The Earth can learn to predict droughts, adjust power generation, and even actively change ecosystem behavior in a way similar to artificial neural networks. 3. Connecting with humans. If they survive. Direct neural-plant communication. Post-evolutionary humans can plug their nerves directly into the electric roots of plants, allowing them to load and receive data like a connection to a living supercomputer. Controlling the planet with thought, individuals with bioelectrical synchronization capabilities can influence the entire system, altering local climates, ordering ecosystems to regulate energy. 4. Is the planet conscious? When the bioelectrical network is large enough, complex enough, and connected for thousands of years, it can create the phenomenon of collective consciousness of the Earth. The Earth can feel, react, and think in ways we have never understood. This raises the question, is the Earth still a planet, or is it a truly living entity with intelligence and a self? The final message: limits are only ours. When we think of life, we tend to associate it with what we know: oxygen, water, carbon. But the universe is bigger than that. The Earth of the electrogenic plants shows that life is not bound by human definitions. It needs only one thing: energy. And how it exists may be beyond our imagination. A world without oxygen, but full of electricity. No more breathing, but feeling the flow of electrons. No more red blood, but light passing through the veins of life. No more life as we know it, but something new, strange, and perhaps more magical.
And that's the whole journey of exploring the plants generate electricity instead of oxygen hypothesis, a scenario that is both catastrophic and opens up a completely new direction for the evolution of life on our planet. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you find this content interesting and want to learn more about other what-if scenarios, don't forget to click like to support the channel, subscribe, and turn on the bell to not miss the latest videos. Comment below to let me know which part you like the most or what hypothesis you want to propose next. Share this video with your friends to ponder the limits of life together. See you in the next videos, where science and imagination will continue to go hand in hand.